welcome to the lesson. I'm Tr.Katimbo again, teaching mathematics. Last time, we looked at application of fractions in terms of percentages. We looked at percentage profit, loss, increase, decrease, and discount. We said percentage profit is good by getting the profit written out of the buying price times 100%. Then percentage loss equals loss out of buying price times 100%. Percentage increase, we said, equals increase out of original number or out of original amount times 100%. Then percentage decrease, say equals decrease out of original number or out of original amount times 100%. Then percentage discount, this one goes to, because there's a discount allowed on an item and a discount allowed on many items. When allowed on one item, percentage discount equals discount out of marked price times 100%. When it's allowed on many items, we say percentage discount equals discount out of total expenditure times 100%. Now today, the same fractions are leading us to a bank. No, a bank keeps one's money safely, as well as extending loans to the business community and so many other services. Now, we are looking at how useful percentages are to a banker. Thus, today, we are looking at simple interest, principal, rate, time, and total amount. Simple interest, principal, rate, time, and total amount. I want you to follow strictly so I gain something from this lesson. As I start by describing each, thereafter we shall apply them but having known what they are. We shall start with principle. The question is, what is principle? Principle has got two definitions. One, principle is the amount of money one deposits onto one's account in the bank. Say the principle is the amount of money one deposits onto one's account in the bank. Secondly, principal is the amount of money one borrows from the bank. Then we shall go to simple interest. Simple interest. Simple interest. What is simple interest? Simple interest is like profit that is actually extended to a customer's bank. So a bank has customer. When that very person or the customer deposits their money into the bank. And again, simple interest is the profit that's extended so that it's actually paid back when one gets a loan from the bank. when one actually banks his money or deposits one's money into the bank, it's like that very person has lent that money to the bank. What the bank does as an appreciation, normally after a year, they add a little money, not just mere addition, but through calculation, technically, that we are going to learn today. That added amount of money is what's called interest. Likewise, when one goes to the bank and borrows some money, that is in terms of a loan, when returning that money doesn't return that particular amount, he adds on some extra. It's also called simple interest. So those are the two kinds of simple interest. Then we shall look at the rate. What's rate? Rate is the percentage at which the bank extends interest. That's why, on the other hand, it's called a rate of interest. It's expressed as a percentage and at which the bank calculates the simple interest. Then we shall look at time. What is time? Time is the duration, or how long one's money spends into the bank, or how long one spends with the borrowed money from the bank. That is the time. Then total amount. The question is, what is total amount? As the word total suggests, it is a combination of things. Which things? That is of principal and total amount. Principal and simple interest. So total amount is the combination of principal and simple interest. So those are the four words we are going to look at today. That is simple interest. Actually 5. Simple interest, principal, rate, time, and total amount. And we have the first example here. The first example reads, Ben deposited 300,000 shillings in a savings bank, which offers a simple interest rate of 10% per annum for 6 months. Question A reads, find the simple interest he earned after the 6 months. Now here, you have to interpret each figure given in terms of the 5. That is simple interest, principal rate, time, and total amount. And again, you must understand the meaning of deposit. To deposit is like to put money or to put something somewhere. So to deposit money is to put money into the bank. So Ben deposited 300,000 shillings in a savings bank, which offers a simple interest rate of 10% per annum for 6 months. What does one do then? I say if you first interpret them in terms of simple interest, principal rate, time, and total amount. The fact being that Ben deposited 300,000 shillings, that is termed as principal. So principal is equal to 300,000 shillings in a savings bank, which offers a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. That is, rate equals 10% per annum. Remember, the word per annum means per year, or every year, or each year, or annually, or yearly. So when you see any of those, you take it like this given today, per annum, for 6 months. Now, being that per annum means per year, and now the time given has been given month, this per annum dictates on to the month and becomes per year. So express 6 months to years. You must know how many months make a year. Somebody has answered 12 months make a year. So express 6 in terms of 12, or as a fraction of 12, to get the number of years in 6 months. So time is equal to 6 out of 12 years. Somebody, if he actually needs or wants, can reduce it to half a year, but you can as well leave it at 6 out of 12 years. What makes it 6 out of 12? Because of the word per annum, which means per year, meaning it was not yet a full year. That's why it's a fractional year, which is 6 out of 12 years. Now the question is, find the simple interest. That's why it says simple interest is called question mark. Now simple interest is given by the formula principal times rate times time. So you say simple interest is called principal times rate times time. Then you go to the next step of substitution. So we say simple interest is equal to our 300,000 shilling principal times 10 out of 100 times 6 out of 12, which is time. The next step is cancellation. I said wherever you cancel the zeros, you're actually dividing by 10. You say 10 by 10 once, 100 by 10, you get 10. Then by 10 once, by 10, remain with that. Now we are going to divide 6 and 12 by 6. 6 divided by 6 once, 12 divided by 6, you get a 2. Now 2 by 2 once, 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. 10 divided by 2, you get a 5. 0 divided by 2 is a 0. Divided by 2 is a 0, another 0 divided by 2 is a 0. So we are only remaining with 15,000 shillings, which is done, simple interest today. So simple interest equals 15,000 shillings. So that's like the profit we accumulate over that period of 6 months on top of what this bank deposited, the 300,000 shillings, which we total up in question B. Now question B reads, find the total amount of money he earned after that time. Find the total amount of money this bank earned or had after that time, the 6 months. In A, you must have accurately computed for simple interest to get what we are going to answer in A, which is called total amount. We said total amount is a combination of principal and simple interest. That word combination brings in the plus sign of addition, hence total amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. Remember our principal was and is 300,000 shillings, and then simple interest has been actually got in A as 15,000 shillings. Hence, we say total amount equals 300,000 shillings plus the 15,000 shillings simple interest. You order it very well according to the place values, and now add 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 5, 5, 0 plus 1 is a 5, as well as a 3 brought down, and then write shillings. So at the end of the day, or at the end of the 6 months, this man had a total of 315,000 shillings on his account. How did it come? He had earlier loan deposited 300,000 shillings, and after the 6 month period, it earned him, or yielded him, or brought him an interest of 15,000 shillings to total up to 315,000 shillings total amount. That's how we answer questions A and B. That's the way one answers questions A and B. Then we go to number 2. Number 2 is a question that asks you for principal. We have learned how to find the simple interest as well as total amount. Now we are going to find the principal given simple interest, time, and rate of interest. Question 2 then reads, what amount of money can be borrowed from the bank to yield 6,000 shillings at an interest rate of 10% per annum in 2 years? Read again. What amount of money can be borrowed from a bank to yield 6,000 shillings at an interest rate of 10% per annum in 2 years? Now, still interpret what is given to know what's not given. What amount of money can be borrowed from a bank? That's called the principal that's being asked. So you say principal is equal to question mark. To yield is like to fetch or to bring in. So whenever you see the word to yield or to fetch, without necessarily telling you simple interest, it's actually simple interest. So interpret it as simple interest. So simple interest is equal to 6,000 shillings at an interest rate of 10% per annum. You say rate is equal to 10% per annum. So which one has the question mark again? It is the principal. Now, how does one find the principal given simple interest, to time, and rate of interest? Here it is going to be answered today. You never lack if you actually care about every step. Now that we have learned in the first example that simple interest is called principal times rate times time, here it is application of simple interest to find the principal given rate and time. So you state it this time the other way around, ending with simple interest. Thus you say principal times rate times time equals simple interest. The next step is substitution. Principal remains P to mean principal, then times the rate, 10 out of 100, times the time, which is 2 years, or times 2, which is equal to 6,000 shillings. The next step is division, if needs division. So it needs division because the numerators and the denominator, we have 100 here, are actually having a common divisor. So we divide 10 and 100 by 10. 10 by 10 once, 100 by 10, you get 10. Then I've got a 2 and 10. The common divisor is actually 2. We say 2 divided by 2 once, 10 divided by 2, you get a 5. So we multiply the numerators out of the denominator 5. P times 1 is actually P. Now P out of one denominator 5, so P out of 5 equals 6,000 shillings. Should be noted that 6,000 or in a figure without a denominator is actually out of 1. So 6,000 shillings is out of 1. So determine the LCM of 5 and 1, which is actually 5. You say LCM is equal to 5. What's the use of LCM in this equation? It helps us eliminate the denominator 5 through multiplication of either side by the determined LCM. So I've determined LCM as 5. The next step is that elimination by multiplication. We say 5 times P out of 5 equals that 6,000 shillings found this side times 5. And now eliminate. We say 5 divided by 5 is once. 5 divided by 5 again once. You remain with the P, which means the principal. So I've got 6 times 5. Jen has said it as 30. Then being 30, don't forget the 3 zeros added to the 30 product, thereby getting principal as 30,000 shillings. Actually, this man or lady, whatever the case may be, borrowed 30,000 shillings from this savings bank. That's how we get number 2. We shall then look at example number 3. Example number 3 asks for the same. it asks for the principal. But this time, you are denied simple interest. You are actually given total amount, which is a combination of the principal and simple interest. So, how to get the principal given rate of interest, as well as the time and total amount. Then the question reads, Rahim deposited some money in a bank which offers a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. Full stop. After 4 years, his account had an amount of 168,000 shillings. Then the question reads, calculate the amount of money Rahim deposited in the bank. I'm reading again. Rahim deposited some money in a bank which offers a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. After 4 years, his account had an amount of 168,000 shillings. Then the main question says, calculate the amount of money Rahim deposited in the bank. Still, find out what is given as you are reading. Rahim deposited some money in the bank which offers a simple interest rate of 10%. So rate is equal to 10% per annum. Good. After 4 years, it means that's the time, so time is equal to 4 years. His account had an amount of 168,000 shillings. His account had a total amount of 168,000 shillings. You say total amount is equal to 168,000 shillings. Calculate the amount of money Rahim deposited. Remember, what one deposits into the bank is termed as principal. So principal is equal to question mark. Now, the fact being that we have got a total amount, we are going to go via that total amount formula to find what is not given. So you state it that principal plus simple interest is equal to total amount. I said principal plus simple interest is equal to total amount. Now in substitution, or before you substitute, remember that simple interest has got a different formula, which is principal times rate times time. That's why you say principal plus into principal times rate times time equals total amount. Where does this one come from? The principal R, or rate and time, it comes from the simple interest. So you say principal plus this simple interest formula, which is principal times rate times time, equals total amount. Now I've gone to substitution of what is given with the letters. So remember, principals are known to remain P in substitution. You say P plus into P plus 10 out of 100 times the time of 4 years equals 168,000 shilling total amount. Now next step, we divide. We are going to divide by 10 first. Whenever you see zeros, we start by dividing, or cancel off the zeros in a bit to actually divide by 10. 10 divided by 10 is once, 100 divided by 10 is a 10. Then we are going to divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is a 2. 10 divided by 2 is a 5. Now, since we don't have any other common divisor, we are obliged to multiply the numerators, and if we have any denominators to multiply, so do we do the same. So we are going to multiply 2 by P, or P by 2, you get 2P out of a single denominator 5. Hence the outcome is P plus 2P out of 5 equals 168,000 shillings. So remember, P is out of 1 as well as 168,000 shillings. Find the LCM of 5 and 1, which LCM is 5. Remember the parties. You have a tendency of reaching the multiplication of the LCM, and you say both sides. Before you say both, ensure the parties are 2. But here the parties we have are not actually 2, separated by the signs. This is a party, this is a sign, a plus sign of addition. This is also a party, this is an equal sign, and this is another party. So we say party, sign,
sign, party. So how many parties have you had? I'm repeating. Party, sign, party, sign, party. So how many parties have you heard me mention? Okay, John, 3 parties. So don't multiply both sides like you always say. We multiply both sides as if every side or every time shall have the same number of parties to be 2. This time there are 3, so let each party share the lowest common multiple. So multiply commonly by all the parties. Hence, we say 5 times P plus 5 times 2P out of 5 equals 5 times the last party, 168,000 shillings. So we say the use of the LCM is to do away with the digit down, which is called a denominator. We say by 5 once, by 5 once, then get the outcomes, all the products out of this multiplication. That is 5 times P is 5P, 1 times 2P is a 2P, hence we have got 5P plus 2P equals 5 times 168,000 shillings. One would ask, if somebody, that one is actually following, would ask why teacher declined to multiply this last party. It's advisable not to multiply this since there is an element of division later for easy division. So I don't deal with a very big product. So it's advisable to leave this one when you know at last you or one will divide. So simplify the 2P as well as the 5P sum. So 5P plus 2P, you get 7P equals this 5 times 168,000 shillings. Now the next step is division of either party. This time there are 2 because I've got a party only separated by the equal sign, then this is the party. So we say 7P divided by 7 is equal to 5 times 168,000 divided by 7. 7 divided by 7 is a 1. 7P divided by 7 is a P, which is in the place of principal. Now we are going to divide 168 by 7. In the first lesson, we looked at the divisor test. And now, when I use the divisor test, I will know that 168 alone is divisible by 7. Remember we said a number is divisible by 7 if the digit and the place value of 1 is doubled, and the result is subtracted from the figure formed by the remaining digits, leading to either 0 or a multiple of 7. So for me, when I double 8, I'll get 16. Then I'll subtract 16 from the 16 formed by the remaining digits, I'll get a 0. So therefore, I will know, I will not get a remainder when I divide by 7 now. I'm very safe. We say by 7 once. 16 alone by 7 is 2. Remainder 2, it makes a 28 on the next digit, 8. Now 28 divided by 7, you get a 4. Then the zeros are very easy. By 7, that is 0 by 7, you get a 0. So are the other 2 zeros extended up here to get 24,000 shillings. Now I've got 5 times 24,000 shillings. You will have a side work. Wherever you have got zeros to be multiplied by, what you do is to first leave them alone and then you add them later. So I've got just 24 multiplied by 5 to get the product here. 5 times 4, good, it's a 20. Write a 0 and regroup. Regroup a 2. Then you say 5 times 2, that's a 10, and the 2, you get a 12. So 24 times 5, you get 120. Write 120, remember to annex our zeros onto the product here. The zeros are actually 3, thereby getting a 120,000 shilling principal. Actually, this Rahim deposited that 122,000 shillings in that bank at that rate of interest, which is 10%. And in 4 years, his account had a total amount of 168,000 shillings. So that's how one gets the principal given the rate of interest, time, and total amount. Now we shall go to number 4. Number 4 states, Nakato deposited 100,000 shillings in a bank that offers a simple interest rate of 20% per year. Nakato deposited 100,000 shillings in a bank that offers a simple interest rate of 20% per year. The question is, how long did it take to yield 10,000 shillings? Here we are learning how to find the time given principal rate and simple interest. First, interpret all the figures given in terms of principal, rate, time, total amount, and simple interest. The fact being that Nakato deposited 100,000 shillings, that is dubbed as principal. So principal is equal to 100,000 shillings in a bank that offers a simple interest rate of 20% per year. So rate is equal to 20% per year. Then the question is, how long did it take? This time they're asking for time, so we say time is equal to question mark, to yield 10,000 shillings. I said whenever you see to fetch, to yield is like added amount onto what somebody had. Therefore, what is added later is called simple interest. So simple interest is called 10,000 shillings. Like I said, time is requested for here. Now, you work within the formula of finding the simple interest to find the time, like we did for principal. You state that principal times rate times time is equal to simple interest. Substitute. You say 100,000 shillings times 20 out of 100 times time equals 10,000 shillings. Now you are going to divide by 10 by 10 by 10 and by 10. What do you remain with? You remain with 10,000 shillings times 2t. 2 times t is 2t, which is equal to 10,000 shillings. Now, not to eliminate 2 and the 10,000 shillings, you multiply either side by the same. You divide either side by the same. We say, divide by 10,000 shillings times 2, and this side divide by 10,000 shillings times 2. Now, the next step is division. 2 divided by 2 once, divide by 2, remaining with t, by 10, 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 by 10. Remain with 1 out of 1, eliminate shillings and shillings. So do you do it to this side? We say by 10, 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 the same way. Then shillings off and shillings off. Remain with the 2, down as well as 1. Never fear a fractional answer. I know some of you would love to have 2 up. This time has been produced down. It must be down. So what do you have up? It's a 1. So 1 out of 2. So therefore our t, which is time, is equal to a half a year. So children have got a tendency of saying, how can it be a fractional year? It can be this. Any fraction can make a fraction of a year. You know, a half a year is a half times 12 months, thereby spending 6 months in this bank. Nakato's money spent 6 months in this bank. But being that we have got the word per year here, the time must go in line with the rate of interest period of calculation. So it is calculated every after a year. That is simple interest. So time is equal to a half a year. So that's how we find the time using the simple interest formula that is availed with principal rate and simple interest. We shall then go to number 5, or example number 5. Example number 5 is about finding the rate of interest given principal, time, and simple interest. Learn this. It's also technical. you will see how technical it will be. So we go to number 5. Number 5 reads, find the simple interest rate per annum if 20,000 shillings is deposited into the bank for 3 years to fetch an interest of 3,600 shillings. Find the simple interest rate per annum if 20,000 shillings is deposited into the bank for 3 years to fetch an interest of 3,600 shillings. Now, you are going to interpret like we have done for the other 4 examples. Find a simple interest rate. You say rate equals question mark percent per annum. Good. If 20,000 shillings deposited into the bank, that is called the principal. You say principal equals 20,000 shillings for 3 years. You say time is equal to 3 years to fetch an interest of 3,600 shillings. You say simple interest equals 3,600 shillings. After that, you work within the simple interest formula, but written the other way around, ending with the simple interest. Thus, we say principal times rate times time is equal to simple interest. Substitute accordingly, 20,000 shilling principal times R out of 100. When you're finding the rate, please, being a percentage, write it out of 100. We need the value of R only. So times the 3-year time, which is equal to the simple interest of 3,600 shillings. The next step, or before the next step, first cancel. We say by 10, by 10, by 10, by 10. Cancel over zeros by actually dividing by 10. Now multiply or write the outcomes. You say you have remained with 200 shillings times 3R times 3R, which is equal to 3,600 shillings. You are dividing either side by 200 shillings times 3 to remain with R, which is rate of interest. So we say divide by 200 shillings times 3 and also divide by 200 shillings times 3. Now cancellation is effected here. 3 divided by 3 once, 3R divided by 3, you get R, which is rate, by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, 2 divided by 2 once, 2 divided by 2 once, shillings off, also shillings off this side, to remain with R at the side, and now we divide. By 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, divide by 2, 2 divided by 2 is once, 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1, we are going to divide by 3 first. 3 divided by 3 once, and then 36 divided by 3, you get 12. Then 2 divided by 2 is once, 12 divided by 2 is a 6. You get 6. Remember the rate is every percentage. So the bank was actually offering or catching interest at a rate of 6% every year or per annum. So rate of interest is equal to 6% per annum. So that's a summary of simple interest: principal, rate, time, and total amount. How to find them. So it should be noted that one must know how to find a simple interest to find everything. So simple interest in summary is principal and rate times time, which is helpful in finding the other four. The other four, that is principal, rate, time, and total amount. Tr.Katimbo, that has helped you learn what you have learned. Thank you for subscribing to our channel of YouTube, Train Up a Child Schools. If you or one wants to reach me, my number is 0776251655. So that has been the lesson today. Stay safe.